Hello everyone, and welcome to today's reading, where we will be taking a look at the upcoming week and the advice that Spirit has for us for this week. And this is meant to assist you in the upcoming week in moving through what is transpiring and to be able to connect that into something greater than just your mundane experiences. Understanding that your mundane experiences are a part of a bigger spiritual meaning of your existence. In other words, your day-to-day life experiences, how do they reflect the evolution of your soul, essentially? So we will be taking a look at sort of what's going on coming into the week, and I'm counting the week as Monday to Sunday. It's a bit fluent here, but that's what I will be that's my standpoint. And then we will be taking a look at the thick of it, of the week, the most important event, or what is to be learned, or we'll see what we get there. And then we will be taking a look at how we are coming out of the week. What are we bringing with us? And to that, we are pairing it with the sort of bigger picture of your soul evolution, and with some advice for Spirit as well to have with you throughout the week. And I will repeat this at the end if I remember, but I do recommend for you to watch this video again at the end of the week and think about the experiences that you had and connect the dots, because it is in reflection that we ultimately gain wisdom and insight, and we can evolve. So let's see how to begin this. Yes, let's set an intention. I'm a bit rusty here. So I'm connecting in here. Connecting in with my eternal soul and the wisdom of my eternal soul through all existing lifetimes, both the past, the present, and the future coming together in this now moment. Connecting in with my spirit tribe, specifically with Christine, connecting in with the goddess, Freya, Kali, Isis, Kuan Yin. Connecting in with the primordial mother and the primordial force. Asking for balance. I set the intention that this reading will bring this community clarity in the events that transpires this upcoming week, and that this community will gain wisdom and advice through this reading channeled by me. I set the intention that I channel these messages in a clear, concise, compassionate, and impactful way in order to make a shift in your experience. I pray that these messages are for the highest good of all beings and the earth in its entirety. Let it be so. I'm just feeling called to feel into it here. I was picking up on something just before I came on here, which was the energy of the shadow aspects, but it is lighter. It's nothing that we can't handle or don't recognize. It's not that deep into the subconscious. It is a reoccurring shadow that we are well aware of, that is poking at our attention. And it's not that we are falling into old habits or resisting. This has to do with something else. It's something in our mind, how we connect to these shadows. We're being asked to befriend them and not alienate ourselves from them. Is there anything else you want to say about this? There is, but I need to go deeper for that. So I will, connecting in deeper into the subconscious of the community here and to my own subconscious here. There is a resistance, but this resistance is created by us avoiding looking at the shadow, speaking about the shadow, embracing the shadow. And this shadow has something to do with our essence, that if we turn it around, it can be perceived as a gift, as a talent, as an ability. And we can power that ability, fueling it into our passions and our purpose. Okay, so I'm coming back up now. Okay, so we will begin with the Darkwood Tarot. So this is a true shadow, in the sense that it is something that has been suppressed in order to be accepted by others. It is not something foul or evil or bad. It is something very, very beautiful that we are afraid to express. And it will let itself be known throughout this week. And I'm receiving this feeling that you will be perhaps a bit surprised by it. It's like something coming out of your mouth and you're not really expecting it. And this can be symbolic. This can be true for some of you. For some of you, it will express itself in other ways. Through your body language, or things that you're doing, or something like that. But that's the image that I get. You say something and you whoop, whoop. Don't take it back in that moment. Try not to apologize for yourself. Try to see it for what it is in the moment. Acknowledge it and try to give it your love, your attention, and your acceptance. And this is a process that will take time. But try your best to give it your loving attention and not taking it back, okay? So coming into this week, where do we stand? So feeling two groups here. Some of you are in this Some of you are being drawn into this King of Pentacles energy. That's your start. You're being pulled into that direction. And some of you will be pulled into the energy of the Knight of Wands. But the common denominator here is the Six of Swords. It is coming back home into your true essence. And it is not a pleasant journey per se, but there is relief there in releasing the tension and perhaps even anger and resentment being built up for not expressing the fullest of your capacity. So, King of Pentacles, I need to sit with this for a bit. There's some advice for you here. Or rather, I'm being asked to flesh out the meaning of this. Changed in the night. You have changed quickly. This is interesting. So if you think about the King of Pentacles, this is a person who is very firm and steadfast and rooted. But what is happening here is there's a resistance to change, of you changing, and that being uncomfortable for people around you. You thinking that people around you can't stand you and or your life changing constantly. And it's you gaining more. No, I'm getting ahead of myself. What else? Underneath that lies a sense of discomfort with yourself. Being who you are, in being very mutable and flexible, and actually thriving on change. But that has been met with resistance. So what you are moving into here, is getting more comfortable and stable in you changing. Accepting and acknowledging and embracing that there is stability in change, because you are actually following your heart and your soul's desires, which makes you a stable person because you can be trusted in the fact that you do what's best for you, and no one has to question or wonder your motives, because they know that you are authentically you and that you are authentically living your own experience. And that brings a sense of safety and stability in others, as well as in yourself. It begins within yourself and it reflects out to others. Okay. There's something concerning money here. If money has been this push and pull of coming in bits and pieces, and then being pulled back, you will gain a more stable, secure relationship with money here as well, because they connect. Your ability to be true to your authentic path and the expression of you will open up to a more abundant and flowing experience, because you will follow where the money flows for you. And in that way it will be more constant instead of resisting. Okay. No, there was something else. There is something for a specific person here. What do you want to say? I feel like this could be for one single person who really needs to hear this. That brother-family dynamic. What do you want to say? They are, even though they might not admit it consciously, they are waiting for you to embrace this facet of yourself, because they can sense your resistance and they are perhaps misjudging it for dispassionate feelings against them. And that creates a difficult relationship between you two. Moving on. Knight of Wands. For this group, it's embracing your passions. Let's flesh out. There's something more here. You have bigger resistance. You have an even greater resistance here. And this connects in with sexuality as well, expressing your sexuality. And that is why, in big part, why there is such big resistance. Like this fear of being labeled as promiscuous or inappropriate or too much. You are rare and free. There are not many like you. So you might have encountered some setbacks in expressing this passionate nature about you. Some of you will belong to both of these groups. We have almost have prizes and managed to be glad. This passion, this sexual force and energy has been subdued in your willingness to try to please everyone else around you. And it might even be in sexual romantic relationships. You will have to decide if this fits you. Where perhaps doing things or the sort of degrading yourself to a level to please another, and that has to end. Create your own happiness regardless of conditions. For some of you, this might mean breaking up with someone. You come to the conclusion on your own, not because of this reading, but on your own, that you cannot be with this person anymore. You do not have a future together, and it is actually a bit toxic for you and your energy. And that will mean that you will be going about it all alone, which can be frightening for some here. But it's finding the positives about being your own, exploring your own passion overall, but also quite specifically your sexuality, exploring that on your own, taking yourself on a journey with it, and it will take you to places. For some of you who are in partnerships, I feel like being strong enough to tell your partner if you desire another direction in your intimate relationship. Tell them what you want. And if you feel like you are not in a safe space to do that with your partner, seriously consider the person that you are in partnership with. Because that's not how it's supposed to be in a loving relationship. There's also something here about being what's the name here? Can you please help me? Being tempted by shallow experiences across the board, both in partners, being drawn to people, wanting a serious partnership when that desire is based on very shallow conclusions, or it could be wanting to experience things sexually that is not actually coming from yourself, but from outside pressure, that you're supposed to do this to be exciting in bed. And it can also be taking up interests and activities, or even personal traits that you think are desirable. There's this feeling of wanting to be attractive to people. And so there could be tendencies to go to great lengths to please people and to deprive yourself of your true essence. Which I feel is more wild. And wild in a more deep, earthy, fiery sense Not just that wild in bed thing, but wild. You're gonna have to sit with that. To the border of being reckless. Is there something else you want to say with that? Enough has been said about that. But you're holding back, you're subduing some sexual passionate energy, some fire, and leading it into something else to please. So you need to redirect it back to who you really are, and trust in the people that truly love you to show yourself, to express yourself authentically. Okay. Anything else? I feel like I'm being stuck here for some reason. Yeah, that's it. It's stuckness. For both of these groups, there's stuckness in not expressing fully what you're capable of, your true essence, your rawness, your power, your authentic love. Some people want love to look a certain way, and we do everything that we can to please them. But our love is authentic to us, and we will find the people who appreciate that the true love that we give. And they will recognize it for what it is, or will at least try to. Okay? So, in the thick of the week here, what will we experience? I feel this moon energy. So there's this feeling of it's bubbling up from inside of us, like this, you say something, and there could be a bit of fear, but there is another feeling there that is a bit stronger. It's a bit exhilarating because you recognize your essence coming out, and it's exciting for you. Because you start to feel and know what this sort of life can bring if you stay more true to that. They're giving me the thumbs up now. What are you trying to tell me? So what will we experience? What do you want to tell us about this week? What will the experience be like? What do we need to know? There's something that isn't quite clear here, and I wonder why. I wonder why that is. I feel like I'm being held back. That's the experience that we're trying to avoid, being held back by ourselves in fear of being judged or disapproved by others. Seven of Wands. and the Ten of Pentacles. So at first, you see here the shadow coming out and taking you by surprise. And you perhaps a little bit expect it to get uncomfortable or to be met with resistance or fury or anger or disrespect or whatever, based on previous experiences in your past. But it actually proves to be a very wholesome experience. And people around you can accept it more when you can accept this part of yourself. Many of us can feel and sense when someone is being sort of dishonest, even when it's coming from fear of ourselves or from love to other people. Many of us can sense when we're not being truly comfortable. And that creates this sort of resistance in the relationship. People will have a much easier time with us when we accept ourselves. And then they can decide if they are the person for us or not. But they don't truly ever know us if we are not showing our true colors here. So in this experience, you will see everything that it will bring. It's like getting a vision or a feeling for that experience. But you are being pulled into this portal of going deeper into that experience and falling in love, falling in love with that path and with who you are becoming here. Okay, so so it's almost like, okay, I like this. This actually felt quite good, but it's not enough. I want to go deeper. It's pulling me deeper. It's pulling me in. Because there's more. There's more to be explored. And you are ready to take on that journey here. And remember here that even though this reading goes very deep, is very deep, that's not necessarily the feeling that you will get throughout the week, because you will have mundane day-to-day life experiences that may seem like everyday life, but it is in connecting them into the bigger picture of your path, of your journey of becoming, that we can go into the depth of it. So if it doesn't feel that deep or that grand this week, don't cast it aside as not being relevant. Even the slightest shifts, even the slightest things can prove to have a great difference in your life. Okay, coming out of the week, there is something. This depends on how you handle this situation here. There is a high probability to move on, but it depends on you and your actions, your behavior. You are the driver of your life. You are the adult responsible for your life. So you are the one who needs to take action that is appropriate here. It won't happen by itself, is what I'm trying to say here. So coming out of this week, what we will experience based on how do I say this? If you're able to love yourself in this situation here, okay. What will we find here? What will we walk away with? The Magician. You are much more powerful than you thought you were beginning this week. For both groups here. You are just channeling the energy a bit differently, depending on your journey and your path. For some of you, it has specifically to do with sexual magic and everything in life that touches that sexual magic. And for the rest of you, it's more about your path of discovery of yourself and life, and collecting experiences, gaining wisdom. And for some of you, it's a blend of both. But you are ready for this to transpire. So it has been sort of prepared inside of you, and the events in your external world has been prepped for this experience to happen, to be able for you to make this shift. And you will gain a knowing about yourself as a very powerful master of your energy. And you are also becoming more mindful about how you are actually spending, pulling in, and directing your energy. Which means that you will be more discerning in what things you are partaking in your life. At the bottom, Nine of Wands, no more feeling drained by the people pleasing, because you can't stand in your power, because now you can. And that doesn't mean that everyone loves you, but not everyone needs to love you. You need to love yourself, your life, and your experience. And bringing along the people who love that about you and who love you for who you are. And this is easier said than done. But try to get out of your comfort zone a bit here. And you might be surprised at how many people accept you for who you are. There's something else here. And if nothing else, the goddess, the god, your spirit tribe will always love you. Your ancestors in spirit will always love you. And there's that. Okay. Now, from the White Light Oracle, we will be pulling a card at how this plays in at your bigger picture soul path journey here. And they're saying something about this month, how it plays into the patterns of this month, sort of the astrological patterns, and the puzzle pieces that are being laid out throughout this month. Yeah. So there's this chain of events that started a while back. What's the bigger picture of this chain of events? How is this week and the events of this week playing a part of your bigger experience? There's something I'm missing. There's more balance needed in your energies, the energies that want to push and achieve, and the energies that want to be and receive. The dance between the light and the dark, symbolized by the magician and the high priestess. You're coming more into balance here, and that bringing about your more raw, true essence, that is more so a piece of the dark. Deer of Delta. I'm going to read the text here just a little bit. Without any force, you can overcome even extreme negativities. Your real nature is gentle, which is powerful in its own unique way. You do not need to become something you are not. You can confidently and effectively invoke spiritual protection from the light. You can never be dominated or bullied at a spiritual level, because the real you is always empowered and protected in the light. So the light serves as a protection for the dark to come out, and they are making this play and this dance with each other. And there's a need to bring out that which is dark, which is not bad or evil. I'm not talking about dark in that sense. Not denying it, but letting it play with the light in a harmonious symphony. There was something else within the text here. Without any force. Without any force. We have been led to believe, I think many of us, that force is needed in order to achieve what you want. But force is only one part of it. We need to have both, the force and the allowing and accepting, and dance with them. Is there something else here? So you can play with your connection to different deities here if you would like, to bring out different aspects of you. I let that be what it is, and you can go deeper into that on your own. So we are finishing off here with advice from Spirit. Spirit, what's your advice for this upcoming week? Specifically when we are coming up against resistance in expressing this nature, or wanting to pull back out of fear of being rejected. Isn't your own love worth anything, is what I'm hearing. Isn't your own love worth anything? Your own love is something that you can offer to yourself. And you show other people love by accepting and loving yourself as well. Love grows from love. Ooh. All in the golden afternoon. Inspiration, creative spark, imagination, conception. I feel like you could use this energy to express yourself in the comfort of your home if you are not yet comfortable with expressing it to others. So let's say that you are afraid of change and you changing. You can change up the furniture in your home to begin with, and no one has to know. You can change up your diet, or just for the fun of it. Like now I'm eating Korean food for a month or whatever. You can express yourself creatively in the comfort of your own chamber, your own inner temple, your own home. And start there. If this feels too much or overwhelming, and you can express yourself through art if there are a lot of emotions coming up throughout this process. And that is all that we have for you here today. Thank you so much for being here and for connecting in. And as I said, I advise you to watch this reading in hindsight. At the end of the week, or a bit later on when this week has passed, to connect it to the events that transpired this week. And perhaps something will shift in your perception, your consciousness and experience. Thank you so much, y'all, and I'll see you next time. Bye.